Good afternoon. It's just gone 1:30 New York time. Oh, well, actually 13:41 Eastern time, and I'm done trading for the day. And I'm just going to recap my trading for today. In my pre-market video today, I talked about this break and retest above this trend line. You can see this blue trend line trending down, and this is the break and retest I was watching for. I was also watching this level, this pivot as well. So that was my favourite setup for the day, and that's what I was watching. And I think I also said that when I was doing the pre-market video, it was about almost live when the market opened actually. I said that we were up in this upper half of this wedge, ascending wedge, and it looks pretty bullish, and that's exactly what it did. So I stuck to my plan, I executed it flawlessly, and I'm pleased with the way I traded. So I'm going to go through my trade right now. So 9:30, I was just still live doing my video at 9:30, and we was watching. Let's just zoom out a bit. So 9:30 came, market opened, and we were watching for the break and retest that area. I didn't get in until, in fact, my first entry was right on the first 5-minute candle. It broke up, came back down into this area here, and I went long there. So basically when it came back down onto that, it's close to the 8 moving average I could get. So it's a bit of a high risk entry because it's so close so soon after the market had opened, within 5 minutes. But it was still part of my plan, the break. It broke that area and it came back and retested that area. So I was in, and I think I was in with one contract, then I took a second contract there on ES. And then it pulled back out. I took some profit off the table there, and it came all the way back down, and I added again. And then so my average price was about there. And then next time it came up, I didn't take anything off, but I did add when it came back down. So I had a couple contracts. In fact, I took 2 off. I had 1 left there, and it came back in. And I still had 2 contracts coming into here. So I took off some up there. There was a bit of a hiccup because when I was coming into here, I held too long, and I really wanted to get, I was aiming for this area here, and which is the 74.98 area, which I said in the video earlier that it's an area of confluence just before the all-time highs. And so I didn't take profit, and so as we came down here I took some off, and then I realised my mistake and I added again, so I added back in there. So a little bit of a loss there, but it wasn't really a loss as part of, I was just trying to protect my gains already. So wasn't much of a move here, it was small gains. It was bigger gains here as well, but the best part of the trade is yet to come. So I was back down to 1 contract, so I did take some off back up here, and when it came right down I was pretty much getting close to coming out, stopping out. My stop was below these pivots here, so that's my stop area, 47.82, and I had another stop there. That's what I was doing. I had 2 contracts left, and I was trailing the stops and moving both the stops up as it was going up. So I came in here, I added 2 more contracts in that area on the VWAP. It's a great add. Should have been better. Maybe if I waited for confirmation, I could have added there. That would have been a higher probability trade and less riskier. But I added on here because it's back into this pre-market area, this area of confidence. I was pretty confident it was going to be okay, and obviously we had this high concentrated volume. And if you go back a few days, this entire area, 84 all the way down to 47.80, is a higher area of concentrated volume. So I knew we had some natural support. So I had back into 3 contracts down here, and I took profit as we broke the high just there. And then I held on to my last 2 contracts, and I saw this formation forming, and I took a profit as we broke over that high there. That was at 94, just before a big area of level 2 sellers, and my last out was, it was exactly there, right on that, just there. And based on what you can see right now, that looks like it was a perfect out. So a decent play. Couldn't create a new high, and I'm pretty pleased it's pulled back, come back and put in a low high, so maybe we could see a reversal coming up soon. But that's it. That was my trade. So my average price was down here, and my exit was high of the day today, current high of the day, still the high of the day. Volume wise, the most interesting thing was when I was long here, we on the 2-minute chart the volume was coming down, so it looked like it was a declining volume, and then we saw this push up 1, 2, 3 with increasing volume, and so that gave me the confidence we were going to break out over there, and that's the reason I held until we got over the high rather than get out before the high. So looking at the 2-minute chart, there's another area which I'll tell you another reason why I held as well. So in this area here, we can see this formation setting up, look like another bull flag. We had lots of bull flags. I'll go into those in a second. Let's just remove the timer. So I'll just go over this one for a second. So this is where we were with my last 2 contracts. It was consolidating, slight ascending wedge formation, and it's a bull flag. And what I was watching was decline in volume as well to almost non-existent volume. And then we had the push up, which is the break, and it came back down to retest this area. This is typical accumulation zone or reaccumulation. If you look at volume price analysis by Anna Coolin, and you had every time it pushed down, we had extra volume. We did have a hammer candle, which is a sign of weakness, but it's on the 2-minute candle. But the only reason I stuck with the trade, I moved my stop to just below that pivot as well, and the only reason I stuck with the trade because the volume was so low and it didn't give us high volume. But I was worried, and in the end I moved my stop from there, and I just put it a couple of ticks below that low, so that was my stop. So whatever happens, I was in profit anyway, and it's only because I saw that hammer candle. And as you can see, really low reducing volume as well, so it wasn't doing much. And then we had this big push up, increase in volume, and we had an increase in price as well, and my out was there. And one other thing to note as well is the these bull flags from the start of the day. So we had this one here. If I just draw it in, and then you can, and that was the first one, and that was a great play, and that's the reason I was happy to take that play, because I saw this bull flag setting up, and my stop was always going to be below these 2 pivots. And in fact, at one point I had my stop there when I got into the trade, and I moved it up to there, then I moved it to there. And then we had another bull flag setting up, which was this one here. In fact, you could say this was a bit of a bull flag, but we came down on that. And then, but this is the one I was keeping on when I just went through the second bull flag here. So we had a couple of decent opportunities, ascending wedges, and that's it. So decent day. I'm not trading now. I'm done trading. Will we get to all-time highs? So currently on the 5-minute, we are closing below the 50 moving average, which, when I say that, we're just broken above it again. We've got that pivot. Anyone got the stops? That could be a stop hunt there. So let's have a look at the daily, see where we are. So close. We are literally $10, less than $10 away from all-time highs, which is 48.0850. I think that area. We could get there today, or we might just see a few days of rest and then hit it. But what we do next, we don't know. Uncharted territory. Let's go into the hourly. So that's the setup we was watching. So as we stand, we are above the hourly VWAP, the 50 moving average, and well above the 200 moving average. And if we're going to look for a change of direction, we need it to break these pivots. So we've got to come up, come back down, close, and push down. That's our change of direction, and we are pretty overbought right now. Okay, so that's it. I don't really want to go anything else, and let's have a quick look at oil before I go. Gold. Oh, look at that, gold broke out, come back, retest. This is a break and retest of this area. So right now this could be a good entry, maybe a bit late. 2039, we talked about that earlier. Oil coming into a retest area as well at 72.60, so it's an area to keep an eye on. If we come back down to 72.60, could be a buy, maybe a swing trade. we're putting in, that's a high, low, low. So we're putting in some series of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher low potentially here. Something to keep an eye on. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Have a good day and hopefully traded well today. Thanks for watching.